G'day, I'm Mohammed, or Moe CQ, a 25-year-old CSGO player playing for the Melbourne Avant, captain of the team. So I've got a lot to prove, and I can hopefully move that energy into the team and into my role. It does mean a lot to be captain, a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. Obviously, I've been around the game for 10 or so years, so seeing the grunt of it and how difficult these things can be. I think I'll thrive in the role as captain. Personally, as a player, I'm very emotionally invested into the game. I'm ready to embrace that and prove a lot of people wrong as well.
Welcome back for the Gfinity Elite Series presented by Alienware. CSGO is brought to you by Dare Iced Coffee and Logitech Gaming Peripherals. Right, so Kevin, huge matches. I am kind of afraid to ask your prediction of the next one based on how they've been going so far, your predictions. Yeah. But do you want to call it? Do you know, out of Perth Ground Zero and Melbourne Avant, do you have a call of who's going to win?
I think here is pretty easy in terms of personally for me. I do believe that Avant-Garde or Melbourne Avant-Garde should take the victory. It feels weird actually predicting, saying that Melbourne Avant are going to be winning.
You feel like you're cursing them by saying that?
I think a little bit, because I have been slagging them off for 2 years now. I like making a little bit of fun of Melbourne Avant-Garde. They've always been a very solid team, and just like joking around with the owners as well as the players a lot, because their characters really, really fun to be around, but I think they've got this in the bag.
Why? Why are Melbourne Avant going to win?
Just more experience on that lineup as well as firepower. So Perth Ground Zero, they're still finding their feet right now. I don't think they'll find success in the first 2 or 3 weeks, just for now. They need still a little bit more time before they find their groove, and then they make their way into potentially taking a few victories off the teams. By then, it might be a little bit too late, though. And
it is that practice, isn't it, I guess? Like we saw with the Sydney teams, yeah? That difference of half a week can make such a difference.
Absolutely, and I think for Perth Ground Zero, it's just I don't think they've had enough practice time, essentially, to drill their squad. Whereas if you look on the side of Melbourne Avant, they have a lineup which has been playing together for quite a bit now, as well as a lot of experience with players playing together with each other in the past, such as Dan's as well as Herbs, and Moe CQ, guiding that ship with a firm hand. And even with, I guess you could say, a substitute of Pex instead of Zeph, which is in the actual core of Avant-Garde, it's still a very strong lineup, which can go toe-to-toe with the best.
And so they have been established for quite a while as a team, haven't they?
For a little bit. So, I mean, it's... In one essence, you'd argue that Perth Ground Zero has been established for longer as a team, but in terms of experience, that this lineup has a lot more experience. You have more players who have played years at the top divisions compared to maybe the months of the players on Perth Ground Zero.
But who knows?
Exactly, who knows?
I guess that's the point, yeah. But you're still definitely calling that it's Avant's day.
I believe it should be Melbourne Avant's day, yes.
Look, I hope you're right for 2 reasons. 1, because it'd be great to see Melbourne win, and 2, it'd be great if you got 1 right.
Yeah, true that.
Otherwise, you might not be back next. No, I'm absolutely kidding. Hey, let's take a look at the scores, see how the day's gone so far. So, Brisbane Deceptors got I wouldn't say whooped, but they got beaten by Melbourne Order. Speaking of whoopings, though, Sydney Raw absolutely destroyed Sydney Chiefs. 16-2. 16-2, getting 2 in there, making it just respectable. Coming up, we have Perth Ground Zero versus Melbourne Avant, a huge game. Definitely calling Melbourne Avant. And so the key players you think for you, what about Perth Ground Zero? Is there any players that we should be looking out for?
So the 2 players in my mind that you should be looking out for, technically the 3rd one as well, because if you're looking in riflers and just pure assault rifle players, you're looking at Chaotic as well as Waffy, because they're the ones that can go absolutely explosive. And we're always talking about the players that can make the highlight reels. Those are 2 players that can make the highlight reels, as well as Inject. So Inject has played different titles before at an international level, such as Shoot Mania and other different titles. And he has an insanely fast reaction time. And he's going to be playing the sniper for the team. I think his reaction time is something like 0.16.
That's crazy. So 0.16.
Yeah, and I think the average is something like 0.25 milli.
Is that the average human being or the average
I think
player?
That's it's like even the average player is around probably 0.2 is on the fast side, 0.25 as you get older, but he's down at 0.15. So you'll be seeing him holding these very tight lines and just being lightning quick with the sniper rifle, and that's what he's renowned for.
Those milliseconds count, obviously, especially at this high level of competition.
Absolutely, because it may mean the difference between a player crossing a gap and a player not crossing the gap safely, and it's all down to reactions sometimes with the sniper rifle. So let's see what Inject does have in store for us.
Do you think, in your opinion, that it is more important to have those kind of reaction times and those kind of skills rather than tactical play and economics and all that kind of stuff when it comes down to it?
A bit of a loaded question. It's very difficult to answer that one, because it's you can have a very, what we call a mechanically gifted player, such as Inject, such as Chaotic, so players who are very good at getting the entry kills, who look so amazing when they're playing the game, but they need to reinforce it with what we call game sense, the ability to understand what's going on in the game and to counter read what their opponents are doing and playing with the team as well. It's kind of what I like to call like a holy trinity of gameplay in essence for Counter-Strike. You need to have the aim and the mechanics, you need to have the game sense, as well as you need to have the communication. Without three of them, you can't be an effective teammate. And
I guess in terms of talking about that holy trinity, a really good example of that rather that we've seen today is Sydney Raw.
Absolutely, because
they obviously hit all those marks, didn't
they? You had the players just from round number 1 on the get-go hitting the shots. That's the aim and mechanics we were talking about. A lot of those players were renowned effectively for their ability to out-duel their opponents. Havoc had a reputation in Counter-Strike Source, so the predecessor for Global Offensive. If you didn't kill him the first time, you're just a dead man. You just hit the floor if you missed your single opportunity. And that's a reputation that a lot of the Sydney Raw players do have. And then with the game sense, imagine just playing the game for 10 years and understanding every single nook and cranny and then the pristine communication. What do you do from there? How can you counterplay that? You have to have even better aim, even better communication, even better knowledge of the game.
Well, we're going to see whether experience or young guns on the scene really win out in this last match of today. Right now, that's enough from us. It's time to meet the players for our last match of the evening, rather. Last match of the evening. It's been a huge day. Please give it up right now, guys. Make some noise for Perth Ground Zero. Okay, guys, a huge round of applause for their opposing team. Give it up for Melbourne Avant. All right, lads. Clean fight, good fight, etc., etc. Willie, LK, how you doing? Are you pumped?
Yeah, I'm pumped, for sure.
I got your name wrong. I just realised that as it came out of my mouth. I apologise. Yeah, man. Sorry, man.
Man.
But you are pumped? You feeling confident?
Very, very confident.
Cool.
Playing against Avant, Dust 2, new map. Let's go.
Awesome. All right, Melbourne. We saw the video before. Are you going to bring it?
Yeah, I think we've been practicing relatively hard, and boys are excited. Great stage, great competition. So yeah, keen to get started.
Awesome. Okay, that's enough chit chat. We're here for the action, so we're going to let these lads get out there, get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause. We'll go to a break. We'll see you back here soon. Welcome back to the Gfinity Elite Series presented by Alienware. It is time for our final matchup of the evening. There's the players getting ready right now, getting in the zone, final stretches. Kevin, we've already had your prediction. You reckon Melbourne Avant? I mean, I'm sorry to question you so many times. I don't want to make you doubt it. I just really hope you're right.
See, this is the problem because normally I predict against Avant. So I normally go, look, Melbourne Avant are going to lose. But this time around, because I've got my predictions wrong and I've said that they're winning,
maybe
doesn't mean that I'm actually trying to sabotage them.
Yeah.
Should I switch my predictions now?
Right. Yeah, sure. Change it.
I'll still go Melbourne Avant. I believe this once again. It should be a tight game between the two sides. I'll actually predict a scoreline for you this time. I'll say 16-9 victory for Melbourne Avant.
So you reckon what's that? 7? They're going to win by 7.
They're going to win by 7.
Great fast maths from me. 16 take 9 is 7. I'm very good at maths. All right, I'm very excited to get into this final match. I'm going to throw over to the casters right now. Let's do this, guys. Over to you.
Thank you, Luke. Kevin, you may be right. I may be crazy, but this may just be the third map that we're looking for. Now, I had to throw that in there somewhere. Either way, Perth Ground Zero up against Melbourne Avant. Now, as we said, our pre-game has been completely thrown out because they sort of gave away the game a little bit with the veto there. But look, these two teams, the way that they match up, we've got some young guns there. We've got Moe in, the head.
Young gun.
Yeah,
he's not a young gun.
Let me build it.
Young gun, I can't
Moe,
say it.
the head of the young guns on Avantgarde. He's providing them with the guidance. Perth Ground Zero, a lot of up-and-coming potential there. How do you see this one going? Quickly.
Ground Zero win, because if I don't say that, Bo's gonna come back and hurt me. So I'm gonna have to can't dodge that.
Yeah, look, you can't dodge that one. But look, let's just see how they got to that map that was given away by Willie in the pre-game. We'll look at the vetoes here as they come in. Now, obviously, we see the map came into Dust 2. These are really safe picks from this team. We've been saying it all the way through, that the best of one really means that teams, obviously, they can ban a number of different maps. So they're going to always arrive at their safest pick. They're going to have that luxury of eliminating all the maps that they are not comfortable with. So in terms of how we arrived at Dust 2, are you really surprised to see it?
Not surprised, but I think, Ground Zero, they have to be on the lookout for their ex-teammate, Hazza. The man, he's an absolute gun. He was only at Ground Zero for a short amount of time, but now he's over at Avant. And he had shots. And Ground Zero is a map where you need to do that. There's those long contention points, long lines of sight, and the man, he's too sharp. He's
too sharp. But let's take a look at Dust 2. Obviously, as you said, it's a map that lends itself to those longer duels and some key contest areas on the map here. But we have that A-bomb site. Now, obviously, over to your right-hand side of the screen, far right at the moment. Sure, it's a very key area of this map, but as we see now, long, super important area of the map, take control of. Mid, obviously, key to a lot of information. CTs will make potentially, contentious plays for that control of mid. That's the most dangerous cross in the game. Dust 2, the double doors. You can lose a member in, I guess, 2 seconds flat if you need to. But up into the B bomb site where things start to really, get interesting. Sika Blatt, Rush B. Everybody is, wanting to contend for that B bomb site. But I mean, Dust 2, it's a map that everybody knows. It's synonymous with Counter-Strike throughout the years. We arrive at it on the, the first matches for these guys in the Elite Series. And it's a real chance for either Perth Ground Zero or Melbourne Avant to stomp their authority on a competition. I know I use that analogy a lot, but it really is the case that these two teams are probably on equal pegging right now. So this is a really good chance for us to see them.
Yeah, well, I'm quite excited. Dust 2, obviously the shortest queue time in history of any Counter-Strike level offensive game, which is why it is the most popular. Also, it's a map that a lot of people just generally like to play. And that doesn't change today, Ground Zero and Avant. They really want to have a little bit of a pug. They want to shoot each other, have a bit of fun, give it a tickle,
I'll give it a tickle in Dust 2. There you go. But look, if you're going to look at these two lineups, the way that they, are out here today, who are your key players for either team? Now, you said that there's a bit of a storyline there in Hazza, who is playing for Avant at the moment, but was obviously formerly on Ground Zero.
Yep, he also has the power of his mother in the crowd today. DJ Aubrey, she is a lovely lady. And, Hazza, he heard me say that. He gave his mum a little smile there. I think he wasn't talking to Moe. Cheeky smile. And then you also have Moe, the man with the experience.
Moe, the man, the myth, the legend. Obviously a player that is well-travelled in terms of Counter-Strike. Probably been a little bit unlucky not to be, playing at a higher level there. But obviously Willie KS pictured there, the young gun. I guess he's almost sitting in the same shoes but on the opposite side there in Ground Zero. But as we talked about Moe, he's definitely a player that... I guess, really has the opportunity to lead these guys, to shape them in the way that he wants. He's a player that has a lot of experience to lean on. He's been to multiple overseas events as well. You don't find that sort of experience often here in Australia, particularly on the market. Now, he's been able to, I guess, form the lineup that he wants to work with the most, and obviously now has a real chance to make a mark on the scene. The stage like the Gfinity Elite Series here is a fantastic learning and development opportunity for these guys. So it's a real chance for him to take control and shape these guys in the way that he wants to.
Yeah, no, it's really good. He's such a leader, good role model for the whole Counter-Strike community. It's great that he's taken a lot of players under his wing and teaching them not necessarily the ropes, but helping them become a bit more experienced.
Definitely, definitely. Now, we look at Ground Zero. There's a lot of opportunity there for development with these guys. Obviously, as we said, some young guns in there, some players that haven't necessarily had big stage experience, but in an environment like this, the opportunity to play in an arena for potentially up to 7 weeks if they do make the grand final is a huge opportunity, huge growth and learning development phase for them. Obviously, now bringing in a coach as well is going to be huge for their potential to correct some mistakes earlier than the post-game.
Yeah. I don't have a lot to say there.
Case in point.
Pretty much summed it up.
Case in point. Obviously, they've got a coach with them today in the form of PDG. Now, obviously, everybody knows that these chairs are not safe right now.
No.
So, no, nothing is safe in terms of...
Turn around.
My chair is safe.
PD cosplay.
That's real leather.
Got it.
By the way. Look, that's basically what we're saying. He has the ability to fire players up, obviously take the time to talk things through with them tactically as well.
Yep.
So having that extra set of eyes. Now, we touched on it when having Tama behind the Chiefs. Obviously, without him, it could have been a very different story. It could have been 16-0. But obviously, in this scenario, that extra set of eyes on the game, that all-encompassing knowledge as well that a coach is supposed to have, can make a real difference here.
Yeah, well, PD, he was your best mate for a while. I don't know what happened, but he's not here anymore. He's up on the stage.
He's in greener pastures, green and white pastures.
Why'd you let him go? Was it the beard? Was it that he could grow a bigger beard?
Like all good love stories. They do eventually, I guess, find another chapter. But either way, I guess we'll touch on that later.
Yeah, we'll touch on that later. Okay.
That's just like you touched on my chair.
Yeah.
But as you said, Ground Zero, you're picking them obviously from a
bias
perspective. Let's just say is best not mentioned, but I'm mentioning it. Either way, who do you think though can really turn a game on its head? Who in these rosters is not quite rated highly enough? Who do you think does the bulk of the work, that puts in? It might not even be in terms of on the scoreboard. It might just be in terms of doing the homework, going through, finding the strategy, doing the dirty work, putting together the strategy packages, the YouTube videos, whatever it might be, whatever tools that they need to do to perform for either lineup. Who do you feel as though that might be the player on each team?
Well, I'm going to say Pex. He's not underrated. He's not forgotten about. But the man, he was partially in IGL for a little while.
Pex? Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got the right Pex.
Oh, I think I'm thinking of a different Pex.
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking of this one here.
Left side.
Strong side. Oh, damn. I got it mixed up.
It's easy to do so. But look, Pex obviously pictured here. He's a player that's playing in this roster and coming in place of Zeph, who is obviously not of age just yet to play on his stage, but a huge experience here for Pex. A redemption story for him, obviously falling off of the Chiefs roster late in the picture. But in terms of his ability to frag, we know he can frag. We know he can put numbers on the board. And in terms of in an on-stage environment, you want players that do that, because at the end of the day, you can talk about strategy, you can talk about the the nuance of in-game reads, you can talk about all these things, but if you don't hit your shots, if you don't make frags, you can't win rounds.
That's it.
It's not going to be this ideal pacifist world where you can't win this game without getting some form of frag. So
you can.
When it comes down to that,
it's hard.
It's very hard.
Very hard.
But at the end of the day, you can't win games, and that's what they need. They need firepower. So men like Pex is going to certainly be able to provide that for the team. On Ground Zero, you said you got guys like Chaotic, who certainly can put up numbers. Waffy as well. We saw glimpses of brilliance from him. Obviously, he doesn't have the big stage experience, but that's something that is going to come in time.
Yeah, well, hopefully this is the kind of experience he needs. This is the opportunity that he needs to take. He is a fresh-ish pickup for Ground Zero. So, you know, he's still trying to find his feet, Ground Zero. They've been playing all right lately, but not anything over the top. They haven't been getting too many Ws also, but they've got Petey, the morale booster. That'll definitely play a
Beard
major...
booster.
The beard booster. Definitely play a major factor. Look, you even got... is that Willie trying to grow the moustache there? He's
the advice extends beyond the actual in-game strategy. But look, we might go back to Luke here for, I guess, a bit more of a chat about the game itself. Take it away, Luke.
Thanks very much, Carster's doing a great job. We're having a few tiny technical issues. We're just getting straightened out, so the game are going to smash it. Kev, let's check back in with you. I want to talk about how the players got here, because there was a drafting process, correct?
Absolutely. So I think it was the drafting process. It was a few weeks where players just played inside some of the elite Gfinity Elite Cups, and whoever came out on top of those in terms of victories and whatnot, then made their way to the next stage, and the teams decided, look, I'd like this player on my team, and decided to pick them up.
And that's obviously something, because I imagine a lot of people watching this, probably a lot better than me, but are people who play at home. And I mean, is there a really big gap in terms of ability between the kind of people who game the hell out of at home and end up playing on stage?
Look, might be a bit controversial if you ask the players, but I really don't think so.
Okay.
I think anyone in terms of passion and whatnot can become as good as these guys on the stage. You've got to have the passion, the drive, the thirst to learn, as well as just a good general, I guess, aptitude towards things, just being willing to accept and learn new things, having a good personality, and just understanding that growth comes with time and just putting in the effort. And not too much effort. You still want to make sure that you cover other aspects of life. So
yeah, that's my problem. I lose my life and just game all the time, so I have to control it. But so is finding a community of people to play with a big thing as well? Because obviously these teams become really tight-knit, yeah?
So I guess you can look at the teams being a bit tight-knit, but we're a very open community in terms of just Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So, I mean, in terms of for myself, all the players I'd say at Gfinity that I know on a personal basis, there are constant LANs going on in different states. You know, you can play online. There are just more communities popping up where you can just really communicate with each other, and just more small tournaments so even individuals can play. You don't need to sign up as a team. You can sign up as an individual and just grind your way to the top.
And what a moment, though, like what an opportunity for these players, because we're all having a good time and it is fun, but there is money on the line as well. Like
a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, it's still startling in all honesty in terms of, I mean, this may be going back a little bit in terms of we're going to the nostalgic days, but a lot of these top players such as Moe CQ from Melbourne Avant, you know, you're looking at your Top Gun from Sydney Raw, a lot of these guys put in years without any financial remuneration. So they're actually losing money while playing back then.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can just imagine that these guys with money on the line, they're even going to be putting more heart and soul into it. Imagine people dedicating the time before there was money.
Right.
Just playing for passion, just pure passion. And now that passion is being rewarded. Of course, you're going to give it not just 110%, you're going to give it 120% now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the game has changed. That's the big thing, like you said. Like, there was an era where people were just playing just because they loved it, which is amazing as well. But now, obviously, like Gfinity is a global brand. It's all over the place. So there's a chance, as many of these players have already gone international, that they can go international with it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be growing from here as well. Just watching how esports inside Australia are growing, especially with the Gfinity stage as well, just giving these players these opportunities. We're just going to propel ourselves even higher in the global stage. And that's just amazing just to think of as just an esports fan in general. If I just take myself away and just pretend I'm not an analyst anymore, not a commentator, it's just being alive at this time as a fan of gaming. It's absolutely exciting. It's amazing.
It's huge, isn't it? Well, it's huge. It's being taken seriously. You know, like if I had as a young'un told someone that
you're still a young spring chicken, Luke.
Stop it, man. I'm in my late 60s and I look great. But yeah, totally. But it's a phenomenal moment. And I think for a lot of these players, especially for the young players, I think it's so great that you gave the MVP in the last match to a young up-and-comer. Because obviously there's going to be more nerves than a minute. I mean, it still means a lot to everyone, but it would really mean more to someone for the first time to be playing in front of people, yeah?
Absolutely, because then you get the confidence from that. We always talk about how Counter-Strike is a confidence game. Once you've achieved the first thing and you've gone, hang on a moment, you know, I can do this against top-level opponents. I can do this with people who have played internationally. There's nothing stopping me from now bringing that into my own team and trying to develop myself even further and trying to push my way forward so that eventually that I'm going to be on the international stage. There's no stopping that.
And a lot like, I mean, in all professional sport, momentum is obviously a big thing in the psychological game. In terms of moving forward, that must be a huge part of esports as well, yeah?
As well as, I guess, the flip side of breaking the momentum as well. And I think this is where the experience really comes in, because you can see maybe for the Sydney Chiefs, you know, that for their first outage, it wasn't the most successful. But they've got so much experience, they're going to look at it as, look, all right, we didn't play as well as we wanted to. How can we identify our mistakes? They're going to be a little bit down about it, but they're not going to be out. And that is also another critical component. You can... obviously confidence is very important when you're winning, but the confidence to know that you're doing the right thing, that you're still learning, that you can still make your way into make the correct steps back into winning ways is also very critical, and I think a very under-analyzed aspect, I guess, of just online gaming in a nutshell is when you're losing, how do you react as a person?
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. I'm curious as well, because obviously you play the game a lot, I would imagine, Kevin.
Probably since about 8. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is, I don't know how much time we still have to chit-chat. I mean, so just going down just pretty much my own personal experiences that, obviously when I was a lot younger, it was very difficult to control my own mentality, because it is much harder as a teenager to be controlling, all right, when you're losing, you feel like that's the worst thing in the world.
Sure.
And this is why the great experience of when you've got, say, for example, the younger talent, like, for example, Zeph on a Melbourne Avant, who will be playing once he turns 16. You've got old season hands like Molly CQ, who's now turning 25, who's gone through the exact same steps. He's the guiding hand. He is the beacon, so to speak, you know, to guide all these young talent through the hard times, so that way they can grow as well. I think that's also another underestimated part. We're not just growing about the game, we're growing as individuals while we're playing the game. We meet more people, we become better people, I like to think, as well, and just find new opportunities. That went way too deep. Went way too deep for this.
We're changing lives. That's what we're doing. Hey, speaking of changing lives, it's time to get back into the gameplay. Let's watch this final match of day one. Over to you, Castles. Let's get into it.
Thank you very much, Luke. Changing lives, changing places, and look, Dust 2 is the place to be for these two teams right now. And I like the fact that Kev went into the under-analysed aspects of the game on the analysis desk. Fantastic work there. Kev obviously changing lives, also changing perspectives too. But speaking of perspectives, I want yours on this map. Now, obviously, these two teams have had a little bit more time now to prepare about Dust 2. We all know this map. Anyone that's, I guess, played a Counter-Strike game over the past, 19 years?
19 years.
Yeah, it's nuts to think about it that way. Has potentially played on Dust 2 because, let's be real,
more than likely,
it's the most popular map. As you said, it's the smallest queue time for Dust 2. But look, let's take a quick look at it again. I want you to talk about the importance of this map in terms of its place in the Counter-Strike franchise.
So in the Counter-Strike franchise, there is this car that has actually got its wheels put back on in the recent update. Beforehand, it didn't have the wheels. It was
that is
a bit lower
an interesting piece of trivia.
It is. And you know, it's completely wall bangable. You can spray anyone hiding there, but it is a very strong position regardless. You still have to know where they are to hit the wall bangs.
The thing is, it's more wall bangable than the actual double doors themselves. That's interesting.
It is now, and it's made of metal and glass, whereas double doors is wood. So you know, physics a little bit off there, but yeah.
Look,
what it is.
It's realistic without being too realistic, you know what I mean, in that sense. So the game itself is obviously super fun to play. It's super exciting. Obviously, you've seen me on the packages there and explaining Counter-Strike and the 101s. We're now on to the 102s, maybe the 103s. But obviously, Mac, yourself, you've seen the teams play over the course of the day. You've seen, obviously, we've still got one match left to come, but like, do you feel as though it's going to play out as though the first two matches have? Obviously, there was some surprises in there, should I say? Do you feel as though this match potentially packs some surprise twists and turns, some narratives yet to be written?
Well, you know, recently there has been a lot of overtimes in competitive Counter-Strike, and we haven't seen one yet today, but I feel like we might actually get one today.
You feel it?
And I don't want it. I don't necessarily want to be here for 3 hours, but, you know.
I want to be here for 3 hours. I could talk about Counter-Strike all day.
I could, but my throat can only last for so long.
That's why you just drink it through.
You drink it through with Dare Iced Coffee, you know, our proud sponsors. Beautiful iced coffee, by the way.
It is, actually. I've been on the double espressos, and I prefer those. I just like that stronger taste. So in terms of coffee choices, that's certainly one of my premier ones. But look, as we said, there's some experienced players in there, Chaotic getting right into that. I like that. Inject, obviously. Kev talked about him. Now, he's a player that has a freakish reaction speed. Some of the highest rated reaction speeds out there. A map like Dust 2, those double doors, that alleyway, that section we saw in the fly-through, it's the most dangerous cross in the game for a reason, particularly because of players like him. He gets that AWP in his hands. Making that cross is so dangerous, so unpredictable. Teams on that CT side, they don't even contest anymore. It's to that point where it is so unfavourable for a CT side to try and make that immediate pick through the doors. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth going down on a 4v5 so early on in the piece.
Yeah, you just get so much information on that cross too. Even if it's smoked, you can still get taken down. But if it's not smoked, you see it, you see the cross, you get the numbers going to B, and that can instantly turn into a rush if there's not enough crossing. If there's only one person holding, even though they only have to hold tunnels, which is a very narrow point to enter the site, it's still quite rough. You don't have the utility to do so.
Exactly, and it's another one of those maps that are really big in terms of its landscape as well. So losing a player early on means that potentially you have to take some risks and gamble and stack players on sites. Rotation times between the two bomb sites are pretty long. So to have to cover more ground with less people, mathematically speaking, that's quite tough. It's quite tough.
Yep. You can take the short ways and the risks of pushing through tunnels and potentially getting the flank on anyone that's short, because you do have that line of sight coming through lowers of the people crossing from cat up to short A, and if you do take people out, a lot of the time they'll leave the bomb behind and you'll have to grab that.
Well, that's right. That's a piece of information itself, isn't it? Because obviously when you expose the bomb. And when I say that, what I mean by that is the fact that if you look at the radar on the top left of the screen for anybody viewing the game, it actually shows where the bomb is at any one point in time. Now, if the CTs do actually spot someone with it, it actually appears on their radar, and that can be a huge indicator of where that bomb is actually going in terms of the site. It gives so much information away. It can help them make that early rotation. They can rotate through that A bomb site if they see it going there quite quickly. It's a key piece of information. So if you do see people at the start of rounds just dropping that bomb in places where it's hidden, that's the reason. They don't want to give away that information. We talk about CSGO as an information game so often, and information is so key. But what is key is the pistol round here, as we do see Melbourne Avant taking on Perth Ground Zero. And this is the first match for both these teams in the Elite Series. And this is an interesting so far, because look at this push. Willie KS takes down two. The B bomb site has been taken, and that is a difficult retake now for the CTs.
But it is a trick play. It's going to be a retake on the B site, but that bomb is over towards long A. And the Ts aren't making their move just yet. The rotate coming out a little bit slow from Avant, and this will play in their favour. We have Dan's on the flank, potentially about to find Willie, but the man not going to be spotted. Gets the good timing, but he does come back through the doors. Dan's going to hit the headshot, bringing it back to the 3v4, but with that, they have the information that the B side is clear in this bomb. Going to be heading back over towards A, but it's a little bit too late. They should have made it a little bit earlier.
Too indecisive there. They needed to act on that straight away, get out long, because now the dangerous cross at long there. That bomb has been fell into the passage, but they haven't checked the site. Moe takes one. That could have been dangerous, but despite their hesitation there, Ground Zero, now obviously that's a little bit of, as we spoke about before, some inexperience coming through. They still made it work. They still obviously had that player advantage the entire way through. It was easy for them in that regard, but it could have been a little bit easier.
Yeah, they definitely took it a little bit long. They didn't a long time to make a decision. They didn't want to get too ahead of. They didn't want to get ahead of themselves, and they ended up work it out anyway. But here we are into the second round, and the rush B seems to be coming out. Erbs here in the corner with the CZ fully blind, going to be falling to that Mac 10 in the hands of Chaotic. And Dance with the Deagle gets a bit of a wallbang onto Chaotic, but he can't get the frag. He's going to be taken down by Waffy there. He glides over towards Heaton, which is behind that box there on the B site. Willie playing under window, keeping it close. We see Hazamoe and Pex, last three alive here for Avant. They are going to be going for the retake, although Peck's going to be spotted over towards the back along, trying to make his way through T-spawn. Jump coming out from Willie. Beautiful deagle shot from Hazard to take him down now in the 2v4 situation. CT's playing close, looking to try to upgrade those weapons. Going for the exits. I don't think they're going to be able to win the round, but Chaotic with the Mac 10 looking to get aggressive. We'll find Moe. Can he find Hazard? Yes, he can. Taking down his ex-teammate, and Chaotic picking up the 3k there for Ground Zero.
Yeah, look, Hazard handing out cheap haircuts. That was very, very sharp from him, but obviously that was all that they found in that round. There wasn't a lot to report home about. They do find themselves, obviously, there are some pistols in this, so this is still dangerous in that regard. But you could see that the strategy from Ground Zero, obviously, is to let that Mac 10, that SMG, that expendable player who doesn't really, they haven't spent a lot of money in their kit out. They get a lot of information for what they push. They send them out first, and that's Chaotic in this instance, and he finds that frag. So here's a real chance here to build his own economy. That's a nice little pop flash. That third-person perspective just makes it all that sweeter. But Pex here in the bomb site needs to bide his time.
He does have a P250 in a nice strong position, but he is going to be taking down Chaotic. Did he just come up off the little box and wrap around on site? Oh my god. The man, the routing he is choosing to take, definitely playing a factor here. Flash coming into CT. He's expendable and he's getting crazy with this MAC-10. He found the info, found one more. Is he going to get this ace? Yeah, he knows exactly where it is.
There he is.
And he will pick it up. Ace there, eco ace coming out for Chaotic.
And that
Huge
round,
plays.
yeah, huge plays indeed. But that round was chaotic to say the least. I mean, they sent him
Stop
in.
it.
He was a terrier off the leash. He was chasing that bone, and obviously, as we said, that SMG, it's so cheap. You can recoup your money so quickly as well. One frag, $600. You start racking them up, you get 5 of them. That's an easy $3,000. I wish it really was that easy.
He's upgraded to the UMP.
Well, like,
Going for the bonus round.
he's really going for it. Now, when we talk about the bonus round, obviously, it's not always the case that CTs will need head armor because they're coming up against AK, which is a one-shot headshot. And they're going to really test this theory here as Willie KS actually finds the frag onto Moe. They're under a bit of duress here, Avant, but that is a nice frag from Pex to just steady the round, but he hasn't overextended himself. He actually finds the frag here, looks for the third.
Oh, the man. He's got a big brain. Look at this. He's trying to find it. Willie, though, working with the smoke, trying to find an angle, looking to hit back. He somehow survives Extinct, covering his angle. The trade comes out from Hazard. Information has been gotten with that little jump there, and Herb's going to be the one to pick up that frag onto Willie. And we are going to see Avant picking up their first round for the map.
Yeah, that was great work from Pex there. He was just a pillar.
Yeah.
Absolutely immovable. Found himself a nice frag there, and they find themselves the first round on the board there. First round of the Elite Series for Melbourne Avant Gaming. And all on the back of some handiwork from Pex in the A-bomb site. But looking at the loadouts now, Moe CQ on the AWP, important for him because that can really lock down a map like Dust 2. A player with a lot of presence on the AWP can really make a change because you have so many different options to utilize it.
Especially on the CT side, you know. You don't have to peek any of the angles, you can just hold on them.
Exactly right. Now, just a lot of presence being shown towards this this dark area of the map, the B dark area. But you can see here, they do still have players across the map in the sense that they do have, I believe it is Steve, just venturing out, aka Inject, with the AWP. His reaction times are really going to be tested because he's venturing towards that middle area of the map. Now, he's going to try and find them a pick, and that is really going to be a thorn in the side of Avant should they have to make that rotation towards B. But for the moment, they're just waiting out to see what happens after utility is thrown.
Looks like we are going to see a B-split coming out. This Molotov going to slow down the split part for now, but Willie KS going to be getting the entry onto Herbs. Dan's trying to hold. Will pick up the first frag. But Ground Zero, they know exactly where he's hiding. Coming through the door. There we are. Going to see Moe pick up one, looking for a bit more. Peck's going to be helping out as well. Waffy finds one on the Dans, but they know that Moe's at the door. He has the cross. The bomb is in the hands of Ground Zero. They have plenty of time to work with. Nade not going to be any good. No one hiding over towards Car there. But Moe and Haz are going to be playing this one slowly. Bomb plant going to be stuck. Molotov hitting Waffy with the tick, but it's not going to be enough to do too much damage. Hazard and Moe looking to go for the retake here. Big flash coming out. They will both go through the doors together. No crossfire being held just yet, but Steve's going to find one on the Hazard. Moe getting the trade, and Waffy getting too aggressive there. Moe, the experienced gamer, going to be holding the angle, waiting for the repeak, which does come out. He hits the shot. He picks up the 3K. We do see Avant picking up a second round.
Yeah, it's important for them to continue to build here. The issue that they're going to face is the fact that they are potentially still losing a lot of members in these rounds. So that eventually catches up with you on the CT side. You continue to win rounds, but if you're continually having to buy weaponry, you can see there, even the victim already has unfortunately can only afford that FAMAS and not really any utility, so to speak of. But that really affects the CT side's options. But that being said, though, they are coming up against a relatively healthy buy here from Ground Zero. So what Ground Zero want to do is continue to put pressure on the economy of the CT side. Now that grenade, ooh, nice chip damage there.
Pretty nice. We are Chaotic, starting to work up short, but he's not going to find anyone contesting it. Not at least close up. Hex on site. Might have just been spotted as he falls down behind default box. Nice little peek coming out. Will to take down Chaotic. Beautifully timed Molotov to stop the trade as well. Willie KS quite close and low at long. Moe, he spots Willie, hits him with the headshot. Unnecessary, but he's taken the frag. And now we have Waffy finding one on the pecs, and we are brought back to a 3v2 situation, Jim.
Yeah, this is where things get really interesting because obviously the T side has some information to work with. They need to make their choices correctly here. But obviously, as we said, they don't have a lot of options. What is going on at long? There's the bomb down here. So this is going to make things really difficult for the T side. So you can see that they've actually rotated all the way through. This is smart play coming in here from Avant. They are just circling, and they do now have the information as to where Ground Zero potentially could be. Herbs, great play from him here. Finds one. Couldn't find the second, though. Steve.
Ooh, Stevie boy with the double. Ooh. But he didn't know that Moe was there. Went for the wide swing. Moe holding, hits the shot. And Avant tied up 3 rounds apiece.
Exactly right. Now, Steve obviously could have potentially turned that round on its head. But again, it's another really expensive round for Avant. They lost 4 members once again. And you can see, despite the fact that they've won the last few rounds, their economy's still not fantastic. Only Moe, the one that really is getting on and obviously surviving. But now you can see Ground Zero. They really want to force the issue here. They're on UMPs, they're on AK, they're on that CZ. They really want to try and take the risks here.
No, it's good to see Avant. They're actually prioritising a little bit of utility there to stop the rushes, knowing that Ground Zero should be on a bit of a lighter buy, and they may take those risks. They may go for the rushes a little bit earlier. But once again, it looks like we are going to potentially see a B-split coming in. We'll see if it gets slowed down. Willie going to be showing some presence at short with the UMP.
The question is, will he or won't he?
Well, at the moment he's hiding in a cutout, so can't do too much there. But I think, looks like Pex is going to be making his way to CT. Weird smoke coming out. Herb's going to be using that to his advantage, hiding in the corner for the moment. But Ground Zero not making a play off it, waiting for the CT smoke to dissipate. Herb's wanting to flash himself through this one, dropping it like it's hot right there, but he's in the perfect location, but he's going to be taken down. Waffy finding that one. And a second onto Dance as well, and Ground Zero, they've turned it from nothing to something. And this bomb is going down. 5v2, Hazard and Moe. With that economy, they're probably going to save.
Yeah, look, they took a lot of damage on the entry there, but they got the frags. That's the important part. So despite it being a little bit messy there in the B take, they definitely got the job done. Now, obviously, Avant not really taking too many risks on that CT side. As we said, their economy is quite thin, so they weren't really ever going to push for information, were they? They weren't really going to take too many risks there that they didn't need to. As Moe, he needs to save that AWP once again because he's survived the last few rounds, obviously winning them for Avant, but more importantly, it gives them a few options. As we said, this is a map that really lends itself to utilising that AWP in a number of different positions. And having that as an option in your artillery, or in your arsenal, should I say, artillery. But it gives them a lot of hope in these rounds. As you can see, look at that money on the CT side. That's a hard reset for these guys. And I'm not really surprised to see a tactical timeout coming out. But what I am surprised to see is the fact that Perth Ground Zero are the ones taking it.
Yeah. The Dust 2 as a map, would you say it's CT or T-side at the moment?
Look, I think the map's always been T-sided.
You reckon?
I think one of the key areas of the map in terms of control is actually short. And the reason I say that is because if you control short, you not only control the spice, and he who controls the spice controls the universe, but they also control the map information that the CTs can get. Now, when I say that, having control of that area, it gives you a good staging position for not only just moving into A, but what it does is it gives you a good informational position in terms of sound. Now, when you've got a player in short, they can actually hear players rotating through from either bomb site. When you know that you've got a player in that CT, particularly which this is the spawn underneath short, you can isolate them quite easily. A simple smoke through those double doors, you can block the vision and take that away, and you can really put some pressure on the B-bomb side if you need to, and you can start to really pull them all across the map, as we do see a nice little fly through there, and they are underway here once again. Now, Avant obviously need to steady the ship. As we said, their economy's in a little bit of peril right now, and Willie KS obviously will recognise that with that UMP. They're going to try and utilise him as that money man, the guy that gets out first, tries to obviously get information, but the buy coming in from Avant means that it's not going to be so easy. They still are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they have a bit of a better buy than what I thought they would actually pull out here. Still a decent amount of utility there. So this round could definitely go in Avant's favour.
And already that AWP comes into play. Moe finding the first frag.
Ground Zero slowing down the pace now, although it looks like we will see a bit of action over towards B. Bit of a contact play. Something not going to be strong enough to answer. We'll find one, but Steve gets the trade. And we're now back in the 3v3 situation. He is going to wait for this bomb to rotate in, trying to hold the site, but Pex mollied off for the moment.
Great molly. It's bought them a lot of time here when they want to get that bomb into the site and try and get it down. It will just eventually go down now, but if that Molotov wasn't thrown, they were still CT right, hovering over the bomb site. Real and present danger there, but now Chaotic, real chance to change things for the favour of Ground Zero.
Whiffs.
One.
Oh, does manage to almost get that second, but Pex bringing it back to the 2v2. Chaotic. Rough situation to be in. Who is that hiding? Is that Steve? Steve hiding completely. Willie playing this perfectly, wrapping around the double stack, and he will find himself the second, taking down Hazza. And a sixth round? Fifth round for Ground Zero.
That is the fifth round for Ground Zero. And they're looking quite healthy at the moment. Now the real problem is, because they're only on that second round loss bonus here, Avant, and losing the AWP of Moe, unfortunately, because they bought into that last round, it means here that they're in a bit of a pickle, per se. But they're not in a jar.
Not in the jar.
Not yet.
Not yet. Here we are, Extinct showing a bit of presence over towards tunnels. Ground Zero taking a while to get out of spawn, expecting Avant to get aggressive. The anti-eco coming out. Willie jiggling, making sure he doesn't take too much damage if he does get spotted, and the CTs do decide to push towards long doors. That bomb has been left there, so if we see a bit of aggression coming out, Willie, if he falls, that bomb could be in a rough position.
It is, but again, it's still hidden, and the CTs really have to push hard to get that information, to get that bomb down, so they're still playing this very, very passively at the moment. You can tell Ground Zero don't really want to take too many chances here. That Molotov is going to clear a portion of the doors, but not the angle that is really tight that Hazza is holding here for the moment. So for Ground Zero's perspective, they are super grouped up here at the moment. You can see towards that long side, but in the meantime, they were just waiting for any CT pushes in various different areas of the map, not really committing here at the moment. Hazza some trigger discipline, but also flashed as well. Has to shoot, takes two. And that's some great work from him. His hand was forced because that position was eventually checked by the third man in, but that could have been really dangerous if it wasn't checked at all.
That's exactly it. Check your corners. Right? It's something that a lot of people don't do. They trust their teammates, and if their teammates don't clear it, then there's nothing else.
That's driving advice as well for anyone in Sydney.
Please check your corners. Anyway, Moe here hiding that elevator, waiting for Herbs to come in. Lucy Dans with the M4 looking to come in through short. He may find Steve here in a moment, who goes for that reload, but no trade comes out just yet. Steve's going to find himself a second, but Herbs the man to get the trade. He can't find Willie, who gets the headshot with the UMP and picks up a sixth round for Ground Zero.
That is a crucial round for them too, as they look, again, have really put that money in a real dire strait. And we're not talking about the walk of life, we're talking about a tightrope that they're walking right now with their economy.
Even Ground Zero's economy is looking quite rough right now. Like, they keep on buying. Here we are, we're going to see two SMGs coming out in this round, although it is a smart decision of Avant. They don't have any body armor, so that could be the play. We may actually see another MAC-10 ace coming out from Extinct. Although, as I say that, Willie with the UMP going to find one, pushing through the smoke. I think he's been caught on the CT with the double stack, which is going to be played effectively. Willie going to be taken down, and we are brought back to a 4v4, but the bomb is down on the B site. Going to be planted successfully behind the double stack. Chaotic going to be finding one through the smoke. No, on the flank. I don't even know where that was. And Waffy's going to find one. Steve taking down Hazza. Not aware that Moe is going to be in tunnels as well. With the P250 could potentially do a bit of damage here. Steve looking the wrong way completely, although he flicks around. Timing not going to go in his favour. And Moe with the P2 going to punish Steve for missing that shot. And he's going to be chased. Extinct with the MAC-10 once again, expendable. Managing to save that AWP too.
Yeah,
here we are.
That was the objective there. If they let Moe have that AWP, that gives him a real fighting chance in the next round. But all he got away with, unfortunately, for the moment is potentially an AK if he can get himself back into dark there, or actually only got away with a MAC-10. Yeah, that's what was swapped out there. So really slim pickings available for him. And look, Avant here, obviously it's not a tipping point for them in the sense that they now have a gun round coming out. This map is a T-sided map. this map actually really, really puts the CTs under a lot of pressure. Now, I know the game, as I said, the defending side, the CT side, is obviously, naturally the easier side. But on this particular map, the Ts really have the opportunity to push and pull and pick away their opposition and put pressures on different areas of the map almost simultaneously. That makes it really difficult to hold. And that being said, it's Dust 2. Everyone knows how to play it. Everyone's played it before. The meta in terms of strategy has really been nutted out by these guys. So, there is not a lot left in terms of new options, despite the map being reworked recently. Everybody's basing a lot of their strategy on the known.
I'll tell you what we haven't seen a lot of. They're not making plays off of the spawns, and that's a big thing, big factor in Dust 2. If you get a perfect spawn for long, you can beat the CTs there. Well, here we are, coming out through the smoke. We are going to see Extinct opening that one up. Trade coming out from Dan's, but he's taken down from Waffy as well. And this bomb is going to be planted in default on the Beast site. The CTs, there is still 3 alive. They have an advantage in that they have more health at the moment.
And as we said, it's a really difficult bomb site to retake once it's been breached. So there's a real task here for Melbourne Avant. They do have some utility, and how they use it's going to be key.
Here we go. Peck's going to flash himself in, although there we are. Team Flash coming out. He's going to be taken down. Waffy and Chaotic, the men to pick up the frags there. And now Moe with the AWP. Going to wait for any over-aggression to come out, although the timing not going to favour him. Doesn't manage to hit that shot. Chaotic peeking at window after Moe takes the pot shot. And there we go. Round 0, picking up an 8th round.
Yeah, look, this was a key round. That was a key round, should I say, for Melbourne Avant, because that was another round where they invested a lot. And as we said, despite the fact that they do have some loss bonus starting to accrue, it's not enough to cover their losses. It's not enough to cover the expensive side that it is to be a CT side. And, their weapons cost more, their utility costs more. All of those things add up over time, and it is really a game of micromanagement of economy at the moment. So these guys taking a bit of risk here. I like this. This is different.
Risk equals reward, and unfortunately for Dan's, he's going to be taken down by Willie. But Herbs, he's made his way all the way up towards T-Spawn. He may actually be able to get the wrap here and catch Willie off guard, who's only got 7 HP, and if he does get the frag, he will pick up the bomb, the AK, sorry. Which is definitely going to be the showing into the next round, although the timing going to be favouring Willie here. Unlucky
so
there.
Frustrating.
I know, Waffy getting aggressive, finds Pex, but Willie does eventually go down. We are going to see Hazza picking up that AK.
I was going to say it's so frustrating because there's a player in spawn still when the bomb has been planted at one of the bomb sites. That's the most frustrating thing you'll encounter in this game, is someone that's sitting on a map like Dust 2, because obviously there's a rotation point there, but he's still being a nuisance and not really moving from the spawn. So obviously, as we said, this map is one of the most heavily played in terms of casual matches, but that is a casual strategy.
Yeah.
And I like it, because we speak a lot about the strategy, but we don't talk a lot about, or sorry, should I say the strategy in terms of the actual game strategy. But when we talk about psychological strategy as well, it plays a huge factor in these matches.
If you know someone's at the top, still in T-Spawn, and you're like, what is he doing there? Why is he getting the information? Why is he holding the cross? Well, obviously they know why. But it can, hit the other team as well. If they do get the retake and he's still in T-Spawn, they have the time to defuse the bomb.
Yeah. Yep. This is a tactical timeout here coming out from, I believe, Perth at the moment. So in terms of talking it through, they're not taking any risks. No risks whatsoever. They're obviously on the upper. This is definitely a time that they need to settle things down and make sure they complete the half strongly. That's why they're taking this tactical timeout. It's not in any other form, but just trying to make sure that they don't make the key mistakes here. Obviously, as we said, Melbourne Avant, they can utilise this time to talk through as well. So actually, to be fair, it's an opportune time for both these teams to talk things out and drink things through.
Exactly. Do you reckon... I haven't seen any chair slaps come out, not on camera, but you reckon
he doesn't dare do that just
Don't do that to me.
Don't do me like that.
I'm going to start laughing, and I can't stop once I start.
Yeah?
I'm telling you.
You're going to pop like a flash?
Pop like a flash. Shine bright like a diamond, something like that.
Tell you what, we're shining bright like diamonds under these lights.
Yeah.
And back to it, as they say. Melbourne Avant looking to just capitalise on what is a different strategy here. They've bought up big. They've taken the gamble. They've invested a lot of money in this, and this is either make or break for them in the sense that they can really start to trouble Ground Zero, or alternatively, they really start to trouble their own bank accounts. Those AWPs cost them mozza.
Here we go. Steve looking to get aggressive. Clearing that angle on B ramp, that is a dangerous play, and it's going to pay off. If he can hold that angle and someone does come down and peek that, we are potentially just going to see a straight-up B hit come out.
Yeah, look, as we said, it's control of that key rotation point. Now, Moe has the advantage here in the sense that he has control of short, so it's huge in terms of information. Usually, if a team's going to go A, they're going to show a lot of presence towards short, and obviously, it also holds information because from that position, he can hear whether or not they go out long. So it works both ways. Both teams really place a huge, I guess, amount of importance on very eloquently controlling that area of the map. But Willie KS, he's going to look to open things up here potentially. Avant need to be careful.
Ooh, Hex playing with fire here, pushing through the smoke, trying to use the edge of it to potentially get a pick. He will find one onto Willie there as he crosses over to the B ramp, looking to help that B site, which has potentially been called by his teammates. There's a lot of sound, a lot of util going to be used over towards tunnels there, and that's going to give up a lot of information to Avant. But now that Pex is over here, there's only 2 towards the A site. And then we go Moe getting the collat onto Extinct and Chaotic. Tasty. And that leaves Steve and Waffy, the last 2 alive, to see what they can do. Here we are. Steve's going to be taken down once again by Moe, who's picked up 3 for the round. Can he find a 4th? Yes, he can. Gets that trade. Waffy didn't expect Moe to be posting, but he was.
Yeah, look. That is an important round for Ground Zero in the sense that they've done enough here to take down 3 members of Melbourne Avant. So whilst they didn't take down the team entirely, they've still kept them honest in terms of economy. So there's still 3 guys that need to rebuy in this round. And that is really, really difficult because they're going to go in with suboptimal utility in some instances here. But they've actually done enough to cover their bases. So I'm actually quite impressed with what they've been able to do there. But now we do see a little bit more of an aggressive approach here from Moe. As we said, this is those off angles they play. He's found the opening frag there as well. So Moe really leading from the front here. And this is a faster approach here from Ground Zero.
But this Hazard still over in pit, so he may be able to actually pick off Extinct as he comes out along here. But Peck's in a nice strong position. He does have his flank covered, so he can kind of play around here, do what he wants. Although the timing almost favouring Extinct, but Peck's too sharp. Going to be picking up that frag. Willie watching the flank. He can find one and a second onto Moe. He spotted Herbs as well. And he will hold for the moment. Bit of utility going to be coming out, but Willie dodges that flash. Here's it pop off the wall. So he will look away. Nice Molotov coming out from Herbs, but it's not really going to do too much. Pex making his way onto site already. Steve playing close range with the AWP, not going to be able to do too much. And now in a 3v1, Pex pushing it behind Chaotic, catching him off guard, looking the wrong direction, and we are going to see Avant successfully retaking the site nice and quickly and picking up a 5th round. Yeah,
great aggression there from Pex in the retake. Obviously playing a key role for them in that instance. He really put the pressure on that A-bomb site once they realised they could get in quite cheaply. Chaotic, there's only so many angles you can watch at once, but he was seemingly not aware of the presence of Pex, who had pushed all the way through. So, again, a key moment for them in that retake. And is it enough to wrestle momentum away from Ground Zero? I guess we'll see. But if they can get to that 10-5 scoreline, Ground Zero, they've done enough here. And I guess that's par for the course in terms of Dust 2. A 10-5 scoreline is fairly common in that instance. But Steve is going to do his best. He's actually done a lot of damage there to dance through the door.
Could open up the B site potentially if Ground Zero decide to go there, but you know they're playing that sort of anti-eco setup again that we saw earlier. 3 behind long, 2 in lowers and uppers. Extinct with the Mac 10. Maybe it's a bit of a misread from Ground Zero.
Maybe not. Maybe in this particular instance they know that they can't afford head armor, so maybe he's trying to take someone out who doesn't actually have that head armor, because you don't really get penalised by the movement here of a Mac 10. But that being said, though, it does get punished in the form of a AWP from Moe. He didn't miss that shot, so Extinct tried to take things into the air. Didn't work out for him. Moe too sharp. And again, these 2 AWPs live from Avant, so their chances of actually winning this round. But Chaotic just evens the ledger.
He did play that well. He did make the read that Moe was going to push that smoke. I think Pex did it the other round, which may be why he was watching for it. But Moe, he did try to make the play, change up his position after showing presence on short, so it was a good decision, but unfortunately it didn't go in his favour. We are going to see Pex and Steve both pick up frags there. Steve with the trade, and we are now in a 3v3 scenario. Herbs, he's pushed up at tunnels. He may find the bomb. Oh, the timing not going in his favour this time. But the bomb going to be successfully planted on the A site. No contention at the moment. And Hazard still over at long. He's hiding in the corner. Flash coming out, and Chaotic's going to take him down. Beautiful shot there, beautiful crosshair placement, great read.
Now, that retake is on, but tell you what, great job here from Waffy. He's had a good showing so far in his first half. Dances a long way from the action, actually gives away his position by firing that AWP, so he's made the job a little bit easier for Ground Zero, and it's looking likely that they will get that 10-5 scoreline. Even easier now that they do eventually take him down. So Ground Zero super happy with himself. There you go, real leather, real slaps on the back of the chairs as Ground Zero do take for them a really important confidence boost in the half.
Yeah, you know, you come for the action and you stay for the chair slaps.
Exactly, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the second half of this match after the break. Welcome back, guys, to the Gfinity Elite Series presented by Alienware. Now, we've seen the chair slaps from PDG. Are they enough to actually unseat his opposition, though? I guess we'll find out in the second half. Mac, look, Ground Zero, you said that they were going to get up in this one. Key reasons why?
I don't know, they're just hitting the shots. It's something that we don't see Avant doing right now. And
they're hitting everything.
Well, Moe is actually
shots.
Hitting the shots. Moe's hitting a lot of shots. I think he's fragging, I think, 3 times as much as someone else on his team there.
Yeah, look, he's really leading from the charge here. And, you know, from a veteran of his caliber, you expect him to put in these showings. Now, his challenge is in actually activating his teammates now and making sure that they are in the positions to be as effective as he has. Now, he obviously has the advantage now running onto the T side, so he's got those those pawns around the map, and he can move them and he can put them into the little various pieces, the places as well. So he can move them around the map and really start to micromanage and I guess formulate some strategy here. It's not so easy on CT side. The CT calling's a little bit different. The T side calling obviously really favours players that do like to micromanage in their IGLing. But let's just see how things pan out as we do head into the second half here. A real chance for both these two teams, as we said, to get their season off to a fantastic start. And, Pex will be enabled by that flash, but he's not going to encounter anyone just yet.
Look at the gamble here. The push it uppers from Ground Zero. I don't know if they've done their homework or if they're just straight up taking a risk here. They've got so much info. They may even just be playing for the retake on the A site. Who's this? Chaotic going all the way through T-spawn. Nice shot coming out from Steve there, playing those long-range angles with the superior pistols for the long-range battles.
That is exactly right. Those USPs over distance, that one-shot headshot potential, or at least to gush someone as the Glock of Herbs finds 2. Will it find the 3rd? No. Extinct does some damage on some low HP, but that's not enough. Moen has to find it. And tell you what, the gamble from Ground Zero was super exciting, but the solidarity of the Glocks from Herbs, particularly in short, once he got into that position, immovable.
Yeah, that rock. Did you see the fade shot? The second one he picked up, falling back, just having a couple of taps.
Just a 3-point fade away.
Exactly.
That's exactly what you want.
Hitting those shots that you want to see. Beautiful. Beautiful to watch. Although it is, you get a little bit salty when you get taken down by a running Glock shot, don't you?
I just get salty when I get taken down. I'm not going to mask that fact. But Steve actually takes down Dan's there in a nice, crisp fashion. Crisp and refreshing.
Yeah, beautiful.
Just like Dan.
You got to love... Stop it. No, don't stop it. Keep going.
I'm not going to stop anything. This is my show. You're just on it now, Matt. Ground Zero, looking to run the show just as they have in the first half. But tell you what, it's Melbourne Avant here at the moment who have some work to do. They have the weaponry advantage. Now, whilst they do have Herbs with that Mac 10, he's not as expendable as he was before because they are at a disadvantage in terms of players. So they're still going to use him quite carefully in that instance. And they're just going to push people back into their sites respectively. They need to group up here. There's not a lot of risks that they can take. There's not a lot able to be done here. But tell you what, Steve, that reaction time is being tested here. And he's just playing whack-a-mole here at long. The car is not really going to provide him with too much cover now that he's out in the open. Herbs takes him down with the Mac 10. Not really super effective over long range, but he gets the job done. It's back to a 2 versus 3. And this clock is ticking, Mac. It's not going to bode well for Avant if they take their time.
Yeah, we do see Herbs. He got the upgrade, picked up his teammate's AK, but Willie with the deagle, taking down Herbs. Pex here as well, trying to make the cross. 28 HP. He's going to be taken down at long range by the CZ of Waffy. And we are going to see Ground Zero causing the upset on the second round of the half.
The deagle has landed, every single one of them. Every single one of them that round. And tell you what, Ground Zero, they have made it really difficult for Avant. So this is a round where you can see they're sporting the weaponry of their opposition. They've got those AKs in hand. They didn't have to purchase anything into this round, of course, taking the win bonus as well. And Avant, they're on pistols, so look, still options available for them, and they're going straight for the best known option in the game. But are they going to get past Extinct? And Waffy takes 2, Extinct takes another. But Waffy there, cleaning up with the 4K. That smoke is super difficult to navigate. You really can't do too much. It's a narrow choke point. The fish were in the barrel, and Waffy happily obliged.
Yeah, that was it. And beautiful use of utility. A couple of nades were thrown in there, I believe. A little bit of damage done, and then Waffy just finishing it off with the old M4. Or was it the AK?
Everything. Yeah, it's finished it with everything. But look,
M4, yeah.
One thing we didn't talk about, obviously nades do damage, but they actually slow the player as well. So their movement is completely slowed by the fact that they've just been grenaded. So they actually are even easier of a target to shoot. So really making it difficult for them. But this is so bold from GZ.
Yeah, look at this push coming out from Steve. Steve, the gamer. He's pushing lowers.
Inject.
Although he's going to be hiding in the corner. Not going to go for the fast flank just yet. We do see Extinct and Waffy holding Pex, and there's the men on the end of those bullets. Extinct going to find one more. Hazard falling to Waffy, and Moe with the bait play, trying to make his way to the A site, but Chaotic with the slow rotate, holding there. He will eventually fall, but the trade comes out. Waffy taking it down Moe. And we are going to see Ground Zero picking up a 13th round, 3 more, and they take the W.
Tell you what, though, this B hold from Ground Zero is looking super, super solid. Obviously, the fact that Extinct keeps staying alive is really key for them, but they're not really being tested at the moment. Avant obviously now going to work into this with some utility, with some weaponry as well. So a chance for them to work themselves back into the game. They really can put potentially that CT economy on a rock if they do start to amass a few rounds. But that is a while away just yet. So some hard work yet to be done for Avant, but that's certainly not beyond them.
Here we see Avant just playing it quite slowly, waiting for that aggression to come out once again from Ground Zero, but Ground Zero changing it up, slowing it down, and giving up a whole lot of map control here. But they've all changed their positions, so this could potentially catch Avant off guard, but Avant making their way out mid, not going to be contested for the moment, but Chaotic, beautiful position here. If Pex does peek into that crosshair, he could be in a very rough position. Hazard couldn't hit that shot, but he does get dinked through the edge of the wall and survives with 52 HP. We do see Moe picking up the frag there under Willie. Chaotic finding one of the Pex though. Here we are, beautiful nade. A little bit of damage done. Moe running around with his knife out. I think he just went to pick up that smoke.
Yeah, the call's been made. The rotation needs to come through. They're going to go back and work this B-bomb site. That smoke actually going out mid is going to try and block vision off from the CT spawn. What it's going to do is it's going to lock the 2 CTs off from help at that A-bomb site. So they're now forced into B, and they've really got a tight hold here. That Molotov, perfect. Buying time is exactly what needed to be done. And the rotation is actually getting there in time. But tell you what, Steve, he's done a good job so far of actually finding the frags, but he's still up in this bomb site. Sorry, Waffy's actually still up in this bomb site. Dans and Herbs combined. Oh, Waffy seemingly helpless in that situation.
That was a little bit rough. I thought that was going to go the other way for a second, but Avant proved me wrong and hit those shots.
Yeah, Avant did a fantastic job of just wrangling the cats there. And they made it work. It was a good hold from Ground Zero at the B bomb site, but they're in a position now where they need to make sure that they actually capitalise on it. So there's a quick technical pause here at the moment. So the teams themselves, I guess, have a bit of a breather. Whilst they might not be able to talk to each other, they can still think about their individual play. And obviously, the game at its essence is a team game, but there are a lot of individual moments in each round. So in terms of the ability to reset yourself mentally, particularly if you're under a lot of pressure here, as is Avant, it's a real opportunity for them to just calm any nerves that there are, just get themselves back on track and just drink it through.
That's it. Well, talking about individual plays, if that Molotov didn't go down in tunnels at that particular moment, that split would have gone completely differently. Slowing down the tons push, let them contest B ramp, and who was it coming through window? I think it was...
My memory fades.
Oh, my memory fades.
But either way,
Pretty sure it was.
enough to delay. And the rotation was coming through. But the match will resume. And Perth Ground Zero will still have that lead that they went into the break with. It doesn't dissipate, doesn't go away. But from a Ground Zero perspective here, they are back brought into this round. Their economy still relatively healthy in some instances, but there are some thinning signs starting to show as we do follow Avant here into this B bomb site. But that bomb, again, just laying its spawn, not really giving the game away in terms of information just yet. Very, very cautious approach here from Avant. And really just trying to work those picks and see if they can actually open things up for themselves early on in the piece.
Yeah, we do see them taking that shot control, which we were talking about earlier. Very strong position to have. You can listen to those rotates.
That's it. It's the T-Pain strat.
T-Pain.
Yeah, short A. I knew I'd get you one day.
I'm about to walk away.
This is the beauty of dead air now. I'll let you reset as we come back into this. As Steve, obviously with that AWP, looking down the barrel. So I'm sure you're looking down the barrel right now of an interesting round either way. Steve just waiting things out. Oh, he's got quick reactions, but tell you what, I wouldn't even back anyone to make that shot. He made it really difficult there, but Avant making it look so easy as they tear apart this A bomb site. And there's no real option here for Ground Zero but to save, to try and take those weapons into the next round. As we said, their economy's not super healthy right now. And, well, tell you what, Extinct is exactly that.
What, not healthy right now?
Extinct.
Oh.
Herbs, rounding things out, Chaotic has been controlled. And it is now 13-8. Avant have a real window of opportunity to get back into this match. You can see, looking across the money there, Waffy's the only one with real economy going. Everybody else is just finding it a little bit tough, just limping to payday at the moment. And there is only a purchase of a pistol here as well.
They had a quick team huddle there in spawn before...
you got to do what you got to do.
They did it on purpose to manipulate the timing, making sure that the pot shots coming through mid weren't going to take them down, you know?
No, you really need to be careful in double doors cross as well. But I mean, that unity shown in spawn, that's what Ground Zero are about. A few chair slaps.
Yep, a few chair slaps.
That's what it's all about here. But look, Waffy obviously got something planned. Now, he is holding a flash, so watch for them to make a key play here. Now, he's actually sitting in that B bomb site. That's not where the action is just yet, but what he's going to try and do is catch out his opposition as Dan's does exactly that. Chaotic, not a lot he could do there, some good teamwork, and I guess those the angry mob of T's rushing through. There's not a lot you can do with power in numbers like that. There's really difficult situations to trade out, but good flash here from both sides actually, just meaning that there's a moment of peace. Hazza finds 2 frags here. He looks good, but he actually it is Pex that goes down. Another good clean round here from Avant. So they're just starting to chunk away at that deficit.
Well, that's it. Oh, we are going to have another pause coming out again. This time it's a tactical, so that's good.
There we go.
Yeah, got to love a good tactical pause. So Ground Zero, you know, they've lost a bit of momentum. Hopefully this pause for them, or hopefully for them, sorry, it may slow down Avant. They are going to be buying up again. Steve picking up the AWP.
Not really surprised to see that, though. I mean, he's such a real dynamic player when he gets that AWP in his hands. As we said, his reaction speed is at that freakish level. The problem is, though, you still need to obviously have the crosshair in the right position. So there's still an element there. There's a raw reaction, but there's also that precision required as well. So, you know, when you combine that with the fact that he might be on his any given day, it's a scary prospect. He's looked sharp, but obviously Moe, when that head-to-head matchups come, that AWP against AWP, Moe's looked far superior in that instance. So that's given Avant a real glimmer of hope. And so far, they are just latching onto that and starting to whittle it away. But 13-9 the score. You can see the T-side economy super healthy as we look at it across the board here. That City side, again, just really, really starting to feel that struggle. And that's been the theme throughout all 3 matches so far, is that City side economy's really struggled.
Here we are, live. Tactical pause has finished finally. What are we going to see? We're going to see a 2-1-2 setup. We have Willie holding mid-control with Hazard going straight through those doors. The man looking to make a play, but Extinct here Are they going to be ready for this B split? The bomb's down towards backyard, and Dan's holding the long push, which we do see to start coming out right now. Moe with the AWP. Surely that scope is going to be heard here by Willie. CTs, they are rotating. Ready for this one. Willie may have to go for a trade here. We do see Chaotic holding the angle. With that flash, Moe's not going to connect the shot, and Willie going massive, picking up a double frag on a Moe and Hazza. Now the bomb coming out towards the B site, rotate coming in, although the bomb falling back. As I say that, they change their mind, they change it up. We do see Dans, he's made his way up short. The A site is clean for the taking, but Steve looking the wrong direction. Oh, he's going to be taken down, Herbs.
Wow.
Doing the honours.
Unfortunate there that you actually hear them coming through that spawn because he was in a great position, had a lot of information, but you can see now the rotation's actually coming through as we do see Dans. He's already made the perilous cross towards that A-bomb site, but he's waiting for the rest of his team. And now, obviously, Ground Zero, they have a read in the sense that they know that things aren't necessarily happening towards B. They were taken down earlier on in the piece, but it's still a 4 versus 3, so they still have the player advantage. And that Molotov just makes it very, very difficult to cross, but it's still definitely doable.
Here we are, Waffy using that smoke. There's a little bit of cover. And there we are, he spots Pex. Can't hit the shot. Now Dan's here playing on the ramp, close, waiting for the push. CT's definitely going to be going for the retake. They do have the numbers here to do it, although Herbs has something to say about that one. Dan's falling to Waffy. Now Pex finds one. Can he find any more? Ooh, does a bit of damage, but Waffy too sharp. Hits the headshot. Now in a 1v2 situation, Herbs doesn't have to do too much damage. The defuse is going to be stuck. Willie's going to pick it up with the Ninja. Herbs gets the frag, but Ground Zero get the round.
They're not out of the woods yet, though, Ground Zero. I'm going to say that because look at their money. They have not had enough in that bank to cover their losses entirely. They're still going to be, I guess, strapped for cash in the instance that they won the round. But this is an instance where that win bonus that they get doesn't actually cover all of their losses. So this, I mean, it's fantastic. You want to win a round, but that's winning a round at all costs. And that cost is inclusive of all of their weaponry. So it was an expensive win for them, and it obviously inches them closer to match point. But what it does is you can see it reduces them to nothing but, I guess, SMGs in some instances here. You've got the FAMAS. You've got no utility, so to speak, of on some players. And they are just going to, I guess, trickle through now in terms of purchases. But, I mean, having to make a sacrifice in weaponry at this late stage of the game means that if Avant do turn things over in their favour here, it's going to be an instance where you're going to see Avant just get closer and closer and closer.
I'd just like to highlight for a moment, if this map does go all the way, you know, I did call that overtime, which could come out. You know, there is still the possibility. The game's still live. Waffy may be the first to drop 30. 25 already.
Yeah, he's been a key player for them. Obviously, we saw him putting up multiple numbers of frags in the round. So, I mean, when we look at the stats and we look at the way the things break down here, it's a nice little car. I wish my car looked that good. You do what you can to make ends meet. You get from A to B.
Yeah, exactly.
Particularly on a map like Dust 2. And now we do see a bit of a looser strategy coming out here from Avant, faster strategy too, and they're going to recognise the fact that their economy's not going to be amazing in the sense that they don't have the utility to stop the rush, but individual plays like this could make the difference. Willie doesn't find the frag at all. Waffy actually provides some resistance at the bomb site, but it's Moe that finds the frag in the form of the B tunnels. Now, he's shown the bomb, so they know that that bomb's towards this B bomb site. Chaotic's actually made a push through. He's been eliminated. Pex, we said he was fire, power, at the ready. And Dan's has also opened up this A bomb site. There we go, the can opening strat. Super effective. And now Waffy hasn't missed too many shots. Thankfully not been whiffy. As, oh, that's a key frag here.
It's like 27, not quite 28.
Yeah, look, that was super dangerous. The reason being, Moe on 2, Pex on 11. That was a really, really, really risky round here. Obviously would have put Perth on a match point. But, as we said, that was a key round for not just Perth, but also Avant, because look what they've done to the CT economy.
Yeah, that's it. But as you were saying, you know, you got to risk it to get the biscuit. Moe solo in tunnels, sitting in a smoke with the bomb. That was the scariest thing I've seen him do, and somehow it worked. Somehow he survived, and they ended up winning it from elimination. Here we are, Steve with the Deagle. He's been tagged up. He may have just given up a little bit of information, and we do see Avant boosting up onto the dumpster.
I like that. Just some initiative shown as well, some ingenuity as well. And Willie KS does try and make an information play in mid, gets caught with his pants down. And look, as we touched on earlier too, a lot of gamers go pantsless for that reason. You can never get caught with your pants down if you're not wearing pants.
I still haven't seen proof that Karath has pants on. Kevin, he's a pantsless man. Here we are. Dan's making his way up short, picking up the double. Chaotic and Steve both going to be taken down. Now it's all up to Extinct and Waffy to do some more damage. Waffy in a rough position right now. He is going to be spotted. He does have that armor, which he may want to try to save going into the next round. Him and Extinct looking to potentially group up, maybe not. I don't know if they want to trade here or if they're just going to try to save armor.
Yeah, look, there's no real reason for Avant to push. They know that they don't have pistols, so if they do go down here, they're just simply going to potentially give away some weaponry here. And that CZ, it's so dangerous. Look at it. It's basically a semi-automatic pistol, and it does take down 2. You can see how easily that is actually the case. And now they've actually picked up 2 guns as Instinct finds his frag as well. And the CT's actually not being grouped up together in that particular round really did help them, because you could see that almost immediately Extinct was able to catch, I think it was Dance, with his caught napping. Wasn't actually aware that there was someone in that position at all. He thought the CTs were grouped up. Wasn't to be the case. He's lost his weapon, and that is very, very important for Ground Zero. But Avant, they're on the comeback train.
What's that, 2 in a row now? They could do a little bit more. We'll see how it goes.
And more importantly, they're starting to get a real stranglehold over the CT economy. So whilst they do have that AK, which does ease the burden somewhat, it's still very, very difficult days ahead of them.
We'll see how it goes, you know. Extinct, he's hit a couple of shots tonight.
He has.
He's hit a couple.
He's put a few people in the dirt.
Where's he going? Steve taken down. Willie with the USP, going to try to do his best. I'm surprised Extinct didn't actually drop the CZ to one of his teammates there. That probably would have helped him as well. Chaotic going to be taken down on short. Dan's doing the honours. Herbs over on the B site, looking around, clearing it out. Hazard going to find Willie over here. Extinct did find one with the AK, and he is still standing. Still kicking, looking to save it going into the next round. And that bomb goes down. It doesn't look like Ground Zero are going to bother going for the retake.
And important that they do save these weapons as well. Really, really important that they do. Now, this is where Avant should be hunting, because they don't want them to take these away from in this round. They know that if they do take them out of the hands of the opposition, it means that they potentially won't be able to buy in future rounds. So there is one gone. Herbs takes down Extinct. And it's just Waffy here on this this bomb site, just trying to hold on to his weapon for dear life. As a timer ticks away, there's going to be a few tense moments here.
They know exactly where he is. He goes for the repeat. Balls of Steel doing that one. Hazard going to be hitting the headshot. Waffy whiffies, and he's taken down. And here we are, Avant picking up the 12th round. Now only 2 behind, but it is getting even closer. Moe, look at that. Almost capped.
Yeah, he's like, basically, he's balling out of control. The man, the money, the opulence, he can buy anything that he wishes
He is a
at this
baller.
point in time. And look, from his perspective, obviously Avant are really starting to string some rounds together and put some money in the bank. But as we said, more importantly, growing confidence as well. Now, it's a completely different game. We've seen teams really struggle on their CT sides, haven't we? We've seen that's probably been the downfall of a lot of the teams today, is the fact that the CT sides really haven't been up to scratch.
Yep.
So in terms of being able to just set up those crossfires and, you know, I guess work on the finer nuances of team chemistry, they have struggled somewhat. Obviously, as we said, the stage, the arena, the crowd, all factors in that.
Definitely.
And team communication needs to be on point. How important is it to get your point across clearly? I really muffled that one, didn't I?
It's almost like a communication.
It's almost like I tried to get my point across clearly and it didn't quite work.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a problem. That can be a massive factor.
And we're going to go back into this one shortly. As we said, we're getting into the final few rounds here. And Mac, you wanted some overtime. And look, we're running out of rounds here for both these two teams. As we said, in the 27th round, look at the top of the scoreboard there. And this is going to be a really, really tense battle here as we run into the final few. As we said, Moe with the AWP has been really instrumental, but changing pace here.
Yeah, Willie boosted up on the box. Strong position to be in. He will find one, but he falls off, so he can't help out his teammate. Crossfire going to be split up, but Waffy, too sharp, going to be taking down Hazard. We are brought to a 3v5. This looks like the Ground Zero round, especially now that Extinct gets the angle there. Herbs peeking into the cutout. He will be taken down. Willie getting the info, jumping across with his knife, baiting the shot. Now they know where Moe is. It's a rough position for him to be in. They know that he has the bomb. We are going to see Chaotic going for the push. Oh no, beautiful. Making his way into pit. Just going to be holding the long rotate. But Ground Zero letting Moe play around here. It could be a mistake, but as long as they stay close and go for those traits, they should be able to lock this round down.
Moe actually baiting the shot out of his opponent there in Inject. Now he's got quick reactions, but you can't test them for too long. And Moe will be taken down at 15th round. Match point here for Perth Ground Zero, now opening match of the Gfinity Australia Elite Series presented by Alienware. And I tell you what, it is certainly going to be an interesting season if the matches keep being as unpredictable as this one.
That's it. Did Kevin end up changing his prediction? Or did he stick with Avant?
I think he stuck with Avant in the end.
Oh, okay. Luckily I got mine right, maybe. Anyway, I'm jumping the gun.
Look, it's not over just yet, but this is a tactical pause here, and they are using them to their full advantage here. Avant obviously need to make sure that they get themselves into overtime, because that's the only way that they can win now.
Yeah.
Because it is that first to 16 format in the best of 30. And look, there's some work to be done. They're talking things through at the moment. Moe there, as we said, he's the experienced head. He's got some young guns around him, some real potential there. He just needs to, I guess, call a locksmith, because he's got some potential to unlock with these guys.
No.
No?
No. Hazard doesn't look like a keyhole. He looks like a champion gamer. All right.
Well,
stop taking that away from him, Jim.
Look, I'm not going to place chains on him just yet, but obviously there is some work to be done before they get to that stage. They're doing quite well, but it was only a matter of time before Ground Zero really started to find their feet here on that CT side. This might be the first instance we actually see a CT side really starting to close things out. Obviously, we saw the Sydney derby there with Chiefs versus Sydney Raw. That one was probably the most comprehensive CT side we've seen. But that being said,
they only played
3 rounds. So, exactly.
Yeah.
There wasn't too much to be shown there. Now, Ground Zero need to bring this one home, and there is still that ever-present danger looking in mid here. But Willie's been quite strong. The teamwork in mid's been quite phenomenal. It's picked them up multiple frags here. Can they do it again?
Look at this setup. I like it. If Chaotic goes down, they're not going to expect Willie to be up on the box as well. Look at this. They're not going to check it. Chaotic. He's been there as bait. Still going for the pre-fire. Waiting for a push to come from Avant, but that Molotov slowing them down for the moment. The bomb has made its way up towards tunnels. Looks like we are potentially going to see a B-split coming out. We do see Moe rotating up into tunnels as well. Taking the AWP there. No, I wouldn't say questionable, but it is a high-risk strategy.
It is high risk, though. But, I mean, at this point in time, they do have a number advantage. Now, they do have heavy concentration on City Spawn here. That Molotov extinct. What he's going to do is split them up here. There's no way that they can actually run through that. Nice little pop flash there. Waffy and Willie combine to find the 2 frags. But the frags are definitely going the way of Ground Zero here. Just 2 left. Or should I say 1 left to find. That's how quickly things broke down here. Moe in a 1 versus 5 situation. He's great, but he's only got 19 seconds to work with.
And here we are, pre-fire coming through the smoke. That's going to lock it down. We are going to see the chair slaps. We are going to see Ground Zero taking it here in the first week of the Gfinity Elite Series.
There you go. Ground Zero take that one away in the end. Melbourne Avant, they managed to get a few rounds on the board, but it was too little too late for them, unfortunately. Still a little bit of work to be done with them on their CT side. As we said, CT sides this weekend have been far from convincing, but that's a running theme throughout the Elite Series so far. Huge importance on communication. So, look, all teams, I guess, will take that now. They've got a little bit to work with there in terms of what they need to go back to the drawing board with. But,
yep.
Mac, final thoughts on that matchup?
Well, everyone's got a week to recuperate, put the strategy down and, come back next week. Hopefully looking a little bit stronger this time.
There you go. You got some moral support there. But, look, thank you for joining us for those matches. But we're going to go back to Luke for the wrap-up.
Wow, what an awesome first day of CSGO we've had. That was a huge final match. Amazing stuff. Join us after the break for analysis and all the highlights from the day. We'll see you in a sec.
Mr. Murray, have you decided on a name?
We're thinking Callum.
Calamari.
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 Let's make it Jack.
Drink it through with Dare iced coffee.
Welcome back to the Gfinity Elite Series presented by Alienware. CSGO is brought to you by Logitech Gaming Peripherals and Dare Iced Coffee. Now, I am just hearing in my ear right now, we've just got something just in because obviously Gfinity is global. Apparently the UK host, Tom, has sent me a personal message, so I haven't seen this yet. Let's have a look.
Oh my, I'm just so good at this. It's embarrassing. Make it rain. Anyhow, I'm Tom Deacon, just taking some time out of my busy schedule to wish everybody involved in the Gfinity Australia, I wish you the best of luck. I'm so excited that you're getting the first Elite Series underway. I also wanted to do a little shout out to Luke. I know what it feels like hosting. I remember back way ages ago hosting my first Elite Series, and I know how nervous you're probably feeling right now, but let me tell you this. One piece of advice to you, buddy. I know you're going to be amazing. The one piece of advice is never, ever, ever.
Tom, it cut out. I don't know what you're going to say, but I don't know if you're aware that it ended before you said it. That's so weird that he sent that. Like the bit of advice didn't come through. We need to get that sent again, Tom. I have no idea what you were telling me not to do. Crazy stuff. Why would he send it? Weird. Hey, anyway, we had great performances from both teams in that final match, didn't we? But Ground Zero coming up on top with 16 against Melbourne Avant 12. It was a pretty big match. I didn't know the whole time watching it who was going to win.
Oh, it definitely got tight towards the very end, so it could have been an advanced game if they were to get a few more rounds here and there, but Perth Ground Zero, I think overall, were the more solid team, and so they walk away deservedly with a victory, so kudos to that entire team. They played together very well as a team with some firing individuals.
All right, let's get into the analysis. First up, what are we going to look at, Kev?
First up, can we trust me anymore because I've got every single prediction wrong. But let's get into round number 5 first up. So round number 5, this is the part where the retakes have been very, very good for Avant. If we can just pause it here right now. And what we talk about the retake is when the bomb plant goes down for the T side. They've got 40 seconds where they need to defend the objective. So pretty much a reversal of roles. It's a 2-on-2 right now. Pretty much everything is equal. And what Melbourne Avant need to do right now is they need to come in together in unison. Perth, ground zero. Their players need to make sure that they're playing with each other so they can, what we call, trade each other out effectively. So trying to bait out shots from the CT side so they can trade each other out. So let's play it on from here now. So you can see that Melbourne Avant, as we play it on.
I think we have a freeze. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we are. So as you can see, there's the flashbang. That's the go signal. Hazza has the rifle here. He's going to go in first. There is the one spotted on the box. Moe CQ gets the trade. He knows where the last one is, and there it is. That is a successful retake. Moe CQ had been on point with the AWP, and now we jump into round number 7 as our next one, because round number 7 was another critical one. I believe it's at the 55-second mark where all the action did boil down. And we just pause it right here. Right now, all the action you can see, this is after about maybe 20 or 30 seconds where Perth Ground Zero, they were deciding when to go onto the B bomb site. And what is happening right now, right here, is Willie Chaos gets a very important kill at that mid position on the Avant player, Pex. This cuts the CTs off and they don't know what is really going on right now. So A, there's a critical kill, and B, all the B players, notice they're coming out all at the same time. No one is staying behind each other. They're coming out all at the same time. Let's keep playing it on here. And watch how they bust out. They're going in separate angles and they're checking the corners separately. They have designated roles and that leads to their success. Everyone has an idea of which corner where to check. And with that team unison, you can check more corners efficiently. You can't check everything by yourself. You've got to rely on your teammates. And that was, I guess, a critical round on how Perth Ground Zero really won the majority of their rounds on their T side. Just together, making sure they're covering each other's backs.
Huge stuff, huge stuff. All right, what else have we got? Any other sweet highlights we're looking at?
Final one is a little bit long. So round 23, let's start it pretty much from the beginning, because this is where it becomes very dicey with Perth Ground Zero. This is actually a very important round for both sides to actually win, because the CT economy is not that good. Notice at the 140 mark, already the T's have mid control. This is almost unheard of in terms of Dust 2, where you've got them blasting down mid. A few flashbangs. The CTs know that the T's have this mid control. Willie Chaos is not peeking out. He's waiting on the back of the flashbang, and this is the turn of the play. This is the turn of the first passage of play. There's the flashbang, and notice that these two T's completely blinded out. That is beautiful team play, and as a result, it's a 5-on-3, and all Perth Ground Zero need to do right now are just stabilize and reset. They've over-rotated a little bit here right now. They've mobilized too many members over to the B bomb site, and Dan's makes a call here. He's gone, hang on a moment, the A bomb site is open. Let's rotate the members out. So this is where communication comes in very handy. You're gonna slow things down, even though things are going wrong for you. So in the 50-second mark, Steve is caught off guard. 4-on-3. A bomb site still very softly in control of the T side, and the CTs, they can't get back onto the A bomb site. They don't know if the T's have control of short or mid. You can't go up there through uncontested territory, and they have to go through the only place that's been cleared out earlier, which is long. And this is where it pretty much all boils down. They get the bomb across, they get through safely. It's a 3-on-4 retake. And this is all down to the gunplay on both sides now, as well as the positioning and where the information is given. One has been spotted out. They know at least one is on the bomb site. That's the bomb planter. They need to find the other two right now. The identity of Herbs has now been compromised, so to speak, because one of the players goes down. They've killed one on A ramp. They've gone, hang on a moment, there has to be another one. Pex now makes his position known. Now it's a 2-on-1, but notice where the bomb plant is down out. Let's pause right here. The bomb is not planted for short. When we say it's planted for a position, it means that the T can cover it. Herbs had to rotate a long way around, and as a result, by rotating a long way around, he couldn't cover the bomb. And this is what led to this round, so we'll let it roll from here. The defuse is stuck on from this point by Willie Chaos, who has done very well to win the round at the beginning part, as well as stick the defuse with the cover of his team. Perth Ground Zero, that was a round, I think that's the straw that breaks the camel's back, because that gets them the 14th round. That also resets Avant's mentality in terms of they were getting rounds, they were getting momentum forward, and that is a critical round to win, because that goes, hang on a moment, that is the critical jigsaw piece that we needed to win. Let's roll on from here.
Now let's take a look at the final round, because I think this was an amazing round. I think we have vision of that. Is that correct?
Sure. Yeah, let's go for it
let's
right now. So,
no, sorry.
So this is match point at the moment, and this was. We probably have to roll it back a little bit. So if we could roll it back to 0 and 40 about 40 seconds on the round timer. The reason why this one was a very critical round was due to the fact that the CTs were able to defend so well.
Right.
And a little bit of luck on the back of that player as well. So Extinct was sitting all the way back at the B boxes, a very powerful position for a CT defender, and the team Molotov does not reach the position. So we'll see here, they're set up at the moment, 4 and 5. They've lost one member early. There is a counter-incendiary grenade. Extinct, notice at this position, he is not touched by the fire. And so he is free to attack alongside with Waffy, and they've had the B bomb site under lockdown the entire time. And such an important round once again, because if they did lose it, their money situation wouldn't have been good. And that would have allowed an opportunity for Melbourne Avant to come back into it. But that is where they closed it up from there. They held their nerve, and overall, they just played very, very well through the entire series, both on the T side and the CT side, and come away with a well-deserved victory.
A huge game from Ground Zero. Right now, let's find out though, Kev, do you have a Logitech Play Advance MVP of this game?
Absolutely. I got to give it to Waffy at the end of the day. It was just absolutely phenomenal on both sides. He started off really well in terms of the T side. He's always been known as a very, very good entry fragger, just trading people out, had a few explosive rounds. And when he went onto the CT side, I think it was just an indication of his confidence when he mowed them down on the B bomb site when they're trying to come in. They were just not allowed a single opportunity. But I mean, so many mentions of Ground Zero as well as players on Avant-Garde. I mean, it's really a big shame because Moe, I think, played his heart out in the CT side. So many critical rounds that he won for Melbourne Avant. And similarly, Willie KS brought so much map positioning for Perth Ground Zero. The amount of times he's really elevated his game. Probably about 2-3 months ago, I would have criticized him because he would be on the opposite side of his team, but not contributing to the overall objective. But now he's figured out the solution, and he's contributing by maybe sometimes he doesn't get the kill, but he gets critical information. As a result, the team is able to snowball that to a victory. And that, in my mind, is a really big change. A big shout out towards Willie KS, because that is a big improvement in his gameplay.
Well, it's a good time to be doing a big shout out to Willie KS, because we're about to bring him over. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for the winning team's captain, Willie KS. Give him a round of applause, come on. Huge game. Well done, man. You've got to be happy with that, yeah?
Yeah, very happy. Very happy. Good, tough game. I think Avant started to roll back, and I think having a coach was really, really important for us. So thanks, Petey, for that. And yeah, having a coach calm us down, give us solutions when we had problems, and in the end, we came out on top. It was a good W, yeah.
It was great. It was great play.
How's the input going in terms of the integration of the new players? Because I know that you've recently had a lineup change. So how's that gone overall?
I think at the start, it was pretty kind of rough. You got to figure out roles and where people want to play. But I think in the end with PD, like I said, as a coach, he brought experience and kind of direction to us, like an input into a system that we want to play, and kind of gave us all a sense of direction. And we all played a unit.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw that in the gameplay as well, because you guys were always going in together. And like I said, in terms of how you've elevated your gameplay as well, it's that you've got direction in terms of when you're lurking around, so that's really good to see. Who's the player that you generally dedicate the most resources to in terms of anything? Or is it more of just look, everyone's an equal member of the unit?
I think we try and keep Waffy as late as possible, because obviously, like you see, he does get a lot of frags. So we try and keep him like throwing early smokes and keep him alive as long as possible, because we know that he can win us around when we're down a man. So yeah.
Amazing performance, huge stuff. Thank you so much. Great stuff. Hey, but for every winning captain, there is, of course, a losing captain. Ash, you're having a chat with him. How's it going?
Yes, it's going pretty good so far. The game was pretty close for you guys. Did you see it turning out that way at all?
Yeah, I always knew it was going to be close. Was hoping it would swing in our favour, but unfortunately it didn't. You know, but it's always going to be a close game. You know, the core of the Ground Zero lineup's been together for a while, and they've only recently added a player. So they're a strong team, nothing to be underestimated, to be honest. But I did expect it to be close, just thought it'd swing in our favour, which it didn't.
Yeah, unfortunately it didn't. But what about the map? So that map is actually quite popular. Was that the one you were hoping for?
Yeah, look, obviously our preferences were Overpass and Train, but Dust 2 was kind of like our third choice. You know, they took a risk by picking it. It took them a while to actually pick that map, but it worked out for them. It's more of a, you know, can go either way. Everyone knows Dust 2. It's a classic. So, you know, I was happy with the map, but definitely not how it started. So the map was fine, but yeah, we lacked a little bit in the first half.
So you had a couple of tactical conversations. What did you guys talk about during those? And did anything that you speak about actually work out for you?
Yeah, it's going to be a hard game to analyse for us because, you know, we started really slow. You know, they won the same style around, you know, 3 times in a row, just walking into that B bomb site. So there's not really much tactically that we could have improved on. T-side, we made a late push, a late comeback. but it just wasn't enough. And you know, our CT side is where we lacked, and if we had a better CT side, then I think we could have taken that game.
No worries. Well, best of luck for all of your upcoming games, and thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone watching as well.
See you, Luke. Back to you.
Awesome stuff. Look, Melbourne Avant will be back, won't they?
Absolutely, and I mean, it's really interesting to actually hear their map pool. So in terms of Overpass and Train, I don't think we'll be seeing much of them in the best of one, so that's actually maybe a bit of an indication for them to start practicing the maps we saw today, Inferno, Mirage and Dust 2. Awesome stuff. Right, let's confirm the results from tonight's matches. Let's have a look right now. Coming up on my little screen in front of me, we have the Brisbane Deceptors lost to the Melbourne Order. That was 16-11. And then we had that huge Sydney fight. There was pretty much a wipeout. It was Sydney Roar destroying the Sydney Chiefs 16-2, probably the most one-sided match of the day. Then we had Perth Ground Zero, and they just finished off the Melbourne Avant 16-12. So that means that Sydney Roar is sitting at the top of the table, ahead of Melbourne Order and Perth third. So that's the Gfinity Elite Series presented by Alienware, and we continue tomorrow with more great live action from the Hoyts Gfinity Esports Arena here in Sydney. Let's have a look at the table. No, I'm looking at the wrong place, guys. Here we are, we're live. Let's keep going. Hey, we will see both our Rocket League and Street Fighter players for the very first time, and our CSGO players will be back next Saturday for round 2. Guys, if you want to come down and watch live, we are going to be here for the next 7 weeks pretty much. If you want to be part of our audience, go to gfinityesports.com.au for tickets on the old interwebs. We have had a blast at our first day of the Gfinity Elite Series. We hope that you have had a blast too. I'm going to go get some rest, learn how to speak again. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the players, for our wonderful audience for coming down. We'll see you all next time. Yeah, good on you guys. Give yourselves a round of applause. We'll see you all next time for CSGO next week.